Hello, everybody. This is Bart Bettiga, publisher of Tile Letter Magazine, executive director of the National Tile Contractors Association. I'm very excited to introduce my guest this month. He is the CEO of the Virginia Tile Company, also known as VTC. I'm happy to welcome Sunil Palakodati. Did I do that right, Sunil?
Yes, perfect, Bart. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Sunil is the CEO again of Virginia Tile. Sunil, I told you offline that I have a long history with several of the distribution companies that are now under the umbrella of VTC. But maybe for my audience, tell us a little bit about who is Virginia Tile. And then after we go into the company and who you are, I want to ask about how you came to be the CEO and your background.
Perfect. Well, first, Bart, thank you for taking time to speak with me. I'm excited to share about Virginia Tile and what we're trying to do. So Virginia Tile, for folks who don't know, the Stevenson family started Virginia Tile in 1928. We've been in the industry for a long time, and three companies eventually came together. ISC Surfaces and RBC and Virginia Tile to become what today is called Virginia Tile Company. We're headquartered in Michigan, but we have locations we serve 15 states, and we have a good balanced business between residential as well as, commercial contracting, commercial business.
Okay, so 15 states, as you mentioned, 3 distribution companies who had multiple locations, all under this umbrella. So you're the CEO. How did you come into this position? Tell me about your background. Let's talk about you a little bit.
Yeah, so I joke around. I tell people I was born in India, but I was reborn in Kansas and raised in Michigan. So I'm a Michigan guy and happened to be back, very happy as a family. But I really was 12 years in automotive. I joke around. I blue blood. Grew up in Ford and went from Ford to their parts division. Eventually, from there went into Masco in their cabinetry division. And from Masco, I went to work for a private equity in Dallas equity firm to build a company, what has become Architectural Surfaces today. And then from there, I worked for a commercial contractor, One Source Commercial Flooring in Dallas. It's a Fuse Network company. Yeah. Worked for them. And then I came to Virginia Tile. So half my career has been automotive, technical, and commercial, the business roles. And rest of my career is building products person. So I call myself an interior products person. I've been in cabinets, both on product and installation, countertops, products and installation, and then flooring. I guess I missed that step. So I was sent to One Source to learn that. And I was been on the installation side. So I understand the beginning to the end of what it takes to get a product really finished in the journey. And Virginia Tile is a great company. I felt like I could add value, help the company be successful in growing themselves and supporting the industry. At the same time, I could personally learn and become better as an individual.
How long have you been in the position now as CEO at Virginia?
2 years. I came in April 21. That's when they actually moved back from Austin, Texas, back to Michigan. And I've been in the role for 2 years.
Yeah, I did not. That's great. So I did not. One Source is Fuse is NTCA works quite a bit with them, and they're a member of our organization, and that does make sense. That gave you some background to understand part of your customer chain. Tell me a little bit about your leadership management style. You said to me before we got online that you believe in being on the front line and being part of a team. But tell me about your style.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the organization, my general expertise has been kind of turnaround, and I always call it, when you walk into an organization that is somewhat struggling, you stabilize it and you grow it, right? But really, how you do it, it's not done by one person. It's a collection of people coming together with a vision and going after it. So how do you inspire and create an organization? My philosophy is really simple. There are 2 things I look at. One is you need to move the organization from top down to bottom up, right? So you need to decentralize authority. So I call it as know your market, own your market. So we decentralized the authority in the organization. And then I also think about front of the house, back of the house. Front of the house is customer facing. How do you make the business really customer friendly and the best you can with the resources you have? While back of the house, things that customer don't see, can you streamline and take waste out and become more efficient as an organization?
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, distribution, and to succeed in distribution is a little bit of everything, right? There's the customer side, but then there's the inventory management side, and buying at the right price, and having just in time inventory. How much is too much inventory? What's your, is, you don't want product on the water, you want it in your stores. And I understand that distribution is a challenge, and it's been changing quite a bit. How do you see distribution as to where it is today and evolving? I mean, do you have plans to go beyond 15 states, or do you want to focus on those 15 states? What are you thinking about the future of VTC?
So two questions. Part one, I'll talk about the industry in general,
Yeah.
and then a little bit about Genital. So in general, I would say industry, the way I look at this is the biggest challenge for the industry is if you talk about installation, labor pool, and the talent, right? And the skill set. We don't have 20 years to create an expert, right? Whether it's a customer service. It used to take us 18 months to train a customer service. Now we have a program to get them up and running in 45 days. So, and if we have a strong customer service, we can support our customers. When I ran the installation business, I believed in time is money for installers. And I used to call it, when I ran the cabinet, said no go backs, right? I used to call them first time right, first time fix, and fix in 24 hours. And our customer, a contractor, cannot be successful if they have to stop, start, right? So we need to make sure their time is valuable and make them efficient, at least the best we can do from our side.
Very
right?
good. I appreciate it.
So if they come into the will call, can we serve them fast? If they come in and have a problem, do we have the right people with the right knowledge, quickly answer the question? So it's a journey, right? You're never going to be perfect as an organization, but I call it in Genital, I say progress. Let's keep getting better tomorrow than yesterday. So we are relentlessly focused on making our company more efficient and raising our skill set and enabling our customers, whether it's dealers or contractors, to become, raise their competency because we are behind them. And we are strong because our manufacturers are behind us.
Right.
So it's in turn, we help each other in the value chain. And the other side is, can we give a better forecast and get a planning to manufacturers so they can plan better? So it's about really making the value chain and making everybody in the value chain more successful. So we have a very important role as a distributor. If we understand how our merchandising is working, our contractors' needs are, and have a deeper understanding of different customers, we can raise our competency and support everybody around us. So we all can win together.
That's an excellent answer. That segues to me. I want to talk to you about, so what about growth? I asked you a two-pronged question, but what about growing? I mean, you told me you serve 15 states. Do you feel you can be successful? I feel like it's getting harder and harder for the one store or the one location distributor to compete in the world that we live in today. But in 15 states, you are what I would call almost this new super regional type distributor that I'm seeing emerge. Do you have plans to get bigger, or what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, right. So right now, I call it, if you think about growth, there are three ways to grow an organization. It's the same thing I've done in architectural surfaces. You can bring new customers that you don't do business with. So maybe you're not doing residential, like in Minneapolis, RBC was not residential. Can we do a better job residential, right? New customers, new geography, and then new products. So you look at all three of them and say you want to do all three, or which ones make sense. I always think about the core business. So our core business, we're a tile company, and we said let's go double down on the core. So I'll touch on each of them, right? One is in terms of residential customers, serving contractors better. We start upgrading all our facilities with nice will calls, where their time is saved, good launches, they can come and do the work. So we're making effort to go deeper with the customer base we already do business with and make it better. New merchandising in dealers, whatnot, right? Or residential in markets we are underserved. The second is product. So we started doubling down on products. We are actually going to go in a big way into the porcelain panels. We have two main manufacturers that we partner with exclusive rights, Crosswell and Milestone. And I've always said the part of the reason the panel business is really, you go to any trade show, they show panels. But why is the market not that big? Because we have not been able to get that to the market, the final mile, in an efficient way. If you can't get 2 or 4 panel orders, how can they be successful? People can't order a whole truckload. So we're really doubling down on panels. We're going deeper on stock. I have a new operating model. How do we get them more efficiently into the market? So that's one example. We're just launching a whole new mosaic collection, decorative collection into the market. So we're doing a lot of things within the product of core tile business to grow. The third is geographic expansion. That has two things. One is we're upgrading our own facilities. We just upgraded in Troy. We spent a couple $1 million in Troy. We spent a couple millions in Chicago and El Grove. We upgraded that. We're upgrading St. Louis, but we're also organically opening in Indiana. Because if you look at our network, at Virginia Tile, Indiana is right in the middle of the network, and we don't have a location, and it's very inefficient. We can feed material across the network more efficiently. So it's essentially, we're going to call it as our third hub. And we're adding a location in Indiana to feed. Because right now, the material has to go from Michigan around to Minneapolis, or Michigan to Chicago, and Indiana is kind of in the way. Plus, it's a great market where we think we can contribute and add more value. So we're looking at organic geographic expansion. We're always open. If there's an interesting company that's a good cultural fit and has a good strategic fit, we'll always look at that.
Sure.
But I felt right now, when I came in, the time window I was in, it was really important for us to strengthen the foundation of the company and then start building the core growth. And then we can always add other things on top of that.
So that segues, it's good to know that you're going into the panel side. I know that NTCA is working with some of your people to do some educational training programs at your locations later this year. What is your commitment to the contractor related to supporting training like that with the panel? Well, like you said, with the panels, the contractors need to be trained on these products. Do you have training as part of your core strategy as well?
Absolutely. Sean, our product VP, working with Dana and Chad, are developing programs right now, and we will work with our manufacturers who are experts. Between them and us, we really want to jointly get doubled down. We have beautiful facilities we can use, and we intend to give them some samples to pilot themselves and train. But we want to double down and really help them, because at the end of the day, if a contractor is not successful, we are not going to be successful, and the product line is not going to be successful. We need to set them up to win in the marketplace.
Yeah, we're excited to work with you on that, and we're thrilled to be doing more with you. We at NTCA have made a major commitment in training as well. We used to do about 40 events with one trainer, and now we're doing 250 events in 2023 with 6 trainers, and we've just ordered an additional vehicle and an additional van because we see the need for training to help grow the market, especially, as you said, when you're moving into new territory, such as large format panels. And so I want to focus on product just a little bit with you. Will you, or are you bringing in other products like LVT, LVP into your stores? How about stone, since you can handle porcelain slabs? Are you going into stone slabs, or are you in the stone slab bit side? Just to ask about your product mix.
Yeah, no, we're not. We've looked at LVT. We didn't think it made sense for us at the time. I'll never say never, but at this point, it is not part of our plans.
Okay.
We do the stone that goes as part of tile or backsplash or wall decorative piece. We definitely do that, but we're not into slabs. Again, my past experience has been with slabs. However, again, I don't think it is it's a distraction in my mind. So we want to focus on the core business and really stay on walls and floors for now. Again, I will never say never, but if there's an opportunity comes up, we'll look at it. But I think there's a lot more we can do in our core business right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Love to hear it. A couple more. You recently had a national sales meeting. That was pretty cool to hear. I read about it a little bit. Tell me about what went into that and what did you focus on at your national sales meeting and what was that all about?
Yeah, it was our first national sales meeting since I've come. Frankly, I don't know if our company ever has done one in a long time. And what we did was there were few goals I had. One was bring the team together one place, and the theme was own it. So I told you we talk about know your market, own your market, but how do you own it? So I'm a big fan of Jocko's Extreme Ownership Program, if you've heard about that. So we had a guest speaker that we brought in to talk about extreme ownership. We also had disc training. ISC ex-president, he came in, talked about disc. And so, they are people should understand who they are. So we did disc training for them. And then we had Nathan, who was a specialist sales trainer. We had him come in and talk about sales training. And really, he talked about tactics and techniques. And really, for me, the big takeaway of his training was scrimmages. So if you're going to go for something else, practice with your partners, right? Don't wing it. So that was good. And then we had our supply partners did a trade show. I have a background with in our ASG where I was a board member for Artisan Group, which is a elite fabricator group. And so we took some concepts from there where we brought in our supply partners and all our team associates had to go through every booth. We had 36 booths. And that also included, on top of that, we also had booth for HR, a booth for IT. So our sales folks got to know each other. They had fun getting to know each other. They got to know their suppliers and their supply partners and products, but also they got to know their corporate support staff. So the goal was to deepen our depth of knowledge, depth of competency, and relationships sideways and inside the organization. I felt it was a great session. I was very happy. Frankly, I thought for a mid-market company, we've pulled off and executed flawlessly. I'm very proud of our team. They did an excellent job.
Yeah, it sounds like you had well over 100 people there of your company. And I guess when you're growing into like 15 states, it just makes sense to bring everybody together. Will you do this once a year then? Is that your thought?
Yeah, for definitely, if not once a year, at least every other year.
Sure.
But I do think that we will definitely do this. We'll probably keep, trying different things. But the goal is to develop our team. And we also had breakout sessions by division. So we want to continue to find ways to cross-pollinate knowledge.
I think that's great. Well, I want to talk a little bit economically for a second. One thing I heard you say was, focusing on your core and being both residential and commercial, which to me, to be a successful distributor in today's world, you really need to be strong on both segments. What are you seeing, or what is, what are you estimating is what the market looks like? I mean, recently I've seen housing is not great right now, but to survive in tough times, if you're strong on the commercial, non-residential side, that can, I remember that can make up, a couple of, 3-4 huge commercial projects can help make up for tightening times residentially. How are you preparing Virginia Tile for market conditions for the next couple of years, or what do you see happening in the next couple of years? Remodel, new construction, commercial.
Yeah, no, when you hear the news, when you talk to different people, there's all kinds of mixed news right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Some is very clear, but there's many that's really mixed. For example, there's news that talks about, there's not many homes coming into the market because people can't. The mortgage rates are so high. If you sell it, you can't probably buy the same house anymore because of the affordability is just shifted if you refinance it, right? Or at the same time, if you job market is still strong. So the signals you have a lot of competing signals, but what's clear is the national, I'm going to call it the track builders, is definitely starting to slow down. Fortunately for Virginia Towel, we don't have a lot of presence with them. Frankly, we have no presence with them. So our business, I look at our business as very strong remodel business. Yeah, we do new builders, but most of them are custom and regional builders, which tend to behave like remodel. So I believe we have very limited exposure. On top of that, we are actually deepening our product offering over the last 2 years. So at this point, when I talk to different folks in the industry, I am hearing things maybe slowing down third and fourth quarter. We're cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, we are not seeing any decline in our incoming order rate. So we're doing really well on residential. When it comes to commercial, our commercial business, when we came off COVID, I think we struggled a little bit. We did a lot of work. Dana, we brought on, who was an expert in the space. She's awesome. She's our VP. She came last August, and Chad, residential. Great leaders. They've come in and we worked very closely. We did a lot of work in commercial. We reorganized and tweaked some aspects of our business. And we are seeing a huge momentum in commercial for us. So at this point, what I see is our core commercial and as well as residential at this point looking really good. I would say, in general, for industry, I would say it depends on what happens in third and fourth quarter, could indicate what might happen in 2024. But most companies, I think, will probably do fine in 23. We definitely are going to do fine in 23.
What goes into your buying habits? Do you look for a percentage of imports versus also, I know you mentioned you're partnering with Milestone and Crossville, which are domestic suppliers who'll have available inventory for you on the panels. But do you do a lot of importing? Do you look at commodity low end all the way up to the high end? What are you looking for when you're filling in your product portfolio?
Yeah, so Sean's objective, we say we are a fashion forward company, and I kind of joke around, like say we're the Nordstrom of tile. And when you are fashion forward, you can't say fashion forward if 25% of your product is not new in terms of revenue, right? So our objective, I call it as a product vitality. And Sean's objective in partnership with me is, hey, let's make sure we're always fresh and current and offering the best product to our customers. And so what we do is we have a process now. We look at by collection, and then we make sure we're going into trade shows with a plan. Saying, I am looking for a wood collection that looks kind of like this, or I'm looking for a concrete that has this attributes. And that's what Sean and his team, Megan, do a fantastic job. And there's always somebody could delight you and surprise you and say, well, that's interesting. But we're looking at product that fits our brand positioning and that also fits our customer expectations. And we are a design forward company. All our showroom people are design trained people. So we're always trying to make sure the product offering aligns with value proposition what we want to provide to the market.
How about installation materials, setting materials, tools? Do you have more than one partner in your 15 states, or do you focus on one partner and help all around there? Tell me a little bit about how you fill in with your specialty products like setting materials and tools for the contractors.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a key priority for us. There was really no real focus in that area. We brought a product manager in. Sean brought Aggie in. She's done a terrific job really curating, because we've always had different companies. The three of them did different things. There was overlapping stuff. We partner with Schluter very well. They're a great partner for us. We work together very well. We've gone in with tech, take the product lines and go deeper with few. On tool side, they've done a lot of consolidation and streamlining with partners like Russo. We brought in, so there's Sean's team is going and bringing in focus across all of them. And we could, if you walk in the new will call, and Bart, if you have an opportunity, definitely welcome you to come to Troy or Elk, you'll see our will call has setting materials, displays and offering, and we're becoming more and more, I call it more customer friendly and more crisp in that area.
I'm planning a trip to see one of my five-star members, Welch Tile, who's a good customer of yours, in September. So I'm going to take you up on it and come visit you.
That'd be great.
Well, this has been great. I very much enjoyed speaking with you. And thank you for being my guest. And I'm looking forward to working more closely with you and your team moving forward in the future. So thanks for being with me, Sunil.
Thank you, Bart. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
You've been listening to Sunil Palakodati, the CEO of Virginia Tile Company. This is Bart Bettiga with Tile Letter Magazine and the National Tile Contractors Association. Thank you for being with our one-to-one program.